through it, y'all.
Wait.
Let's run that back.
What it do, all? So, hi, I'm Brittany.
I'm Ayanda.
And this is our Queen Cat. And we are here to introduce ourselves before we get into our 90-day high raw vegan fast. So, Ayanda really doesn't want to do this video, as y'all can see, but I just think it'll be liquid gold because we literally just decided today on January 28th, 2023 that we are going to start this fast on February 6th. I'm nervous! So, I'll let Ayanda introduce herself first.
I'm Ayanda. I don't know what to say. What am I supposed to be saying?
Tell them about you. How old are you? Where are you from? What do you do? What's the purpose of the fast?
Okay. So I'm 23, from Atlanta.
To give y'all context, me and Ayanda just ordered this ice cream, right? This plant-based ice cream on Uber Eats. And we both ordered a carton of ice cream. And they brought Ayanda some dairy ice cream. And she don't like that. So if we do decide to use some of this, and y'all wondering why she acting like she don't even want to be on the camera, because she don't. She want to figure out what's going on with her ice cream. Look at her. Okay.
I feel like in my current self, I just been feeling not the best, not the most empowered. My sleep has been, it feels quick. I wasn't dreaming. Or I wasn't even remembering my dreams. I'll say that. I think it'll just help overall with like discipline and learning more about yourself. The purpose of the fast for me is like just how it can change your aura and change how you feel about, you know, your internal self and help you become a little better with yourself.
I feel like I've been having a lot of physical issues, still in the upper 300. Having a hemorrhoid since like 2020. I have nightmares as well. Feel like, yeah, just feel overwhelmed and sad. Like you're starting your day out sad because of a nightmare. My skin is starting to kind of pimple up, and respiratory wise, I breathe heavier. The bottom of my left foot very dry sometimes, and even with my eyes, like sometimes I feel like they look red around. But I'm doing this for a lot of reasons, and a lot of them are practical. Curious to see as we vlog and as we continue on if these things will like just look so much better.
Okay, now where were we?
Psych!
Wait, who are we?
Oh yeah.
Roll it.
You're twisting your turns. I wanna learn, and when I'm lost, you give me order. Pull me back and push me forward. Take me in and hold me closer. I'll follow you up and over. You control me fast and slow. When you move, I move. I'm caught in your groove. Yeah, I wanna stay right next to you. Wherever you're going, I'm going to. If you ever hurt, then I'm gonna bleed. But I'll pick you up and put you back on your feet. Oh, that's how this works. I put you up.
B&A crew, what it do?
B&A crew, what it do?
What y'all think? That's what we think we want to go with for the YouTube. Definitely before we get into this 90-day high raw vegan cellular detox, be sure to like, share, subscribe. We would love to connect with you all.
Yes, absolutely. Oh man. So my name is Ayanda Patrick.
And I am Brittany Hardin.
Yes, so we are partners and we're also health and wellness coaches. And yeah, as you know with the title, we completed a 90-day high raw fast. Like I'm excited now. It's been 6 days since we finished. Y'all can see it. Yeah, there you go.
6 days since we finished.
Yep.
And boy, what a 6 days it's been.
It's been really informational. We got a bunch of questions, so we're gonna keep it very organized.
Disconnected partnership. Is it safe to say that?
Absolutely.
Like, we weren't really like getting along that great, and we didn't know it. So we would spend a lot of time watching TV. We would spend a lot of time eating fun foods, right? And something just said to me one day, like, hey, I think we should go high raw.
Yeah.
Now, mind y'all, I'm the type of person who loves some potato chips. Love. Never thought I would see myself literally just eating fruits and vegetables raw. Never. But something said to me one day when we were like in the bathroom, I was taking a shower, and I was like, I think we need to start this high raw fast, and we need to start it in February.
Yeah.
So we started, and one thing I will say about us is no matter how we are getting along, we've always been willing to do stuff together and like give each other an experience. And so, like any other thing, when I said this is what I want to do, Ayana just jumped on board.
Yeah, it was no big deal because I felt like, one, we were like slipping on our results, and we were really like, as health coaches, we weren't practicing what we preached. And so we was in the dark eating the cupcakes and eating the ice cream, eating the cookies. But on surface level, you just saw when we had our shake, or you just saw when we had our water. And we were still active at the time because I was a kickboxing instructor at the time. However, what we always say, you know, you are not going to be able to outwork a bad guy. There were some things that was happening to you.
Yeah, I just feel like it was uncomfortable because like you are not able to like hide that. Like people can't, like energy is an aroma. So I feel like in our business, for one, we were not really getting active sales. We weren't really actually getting clients to work with us because I feel like people could feel the incongruence. And then also, because I am answering your question in real time, I think that it was also a piece around like, I don't know, like I just felt like it was a lot of shutdown energy, you know, like I felt like I wasn't really actively being heard. And all at the same time, I was going through a really wonderful healing journey with this incubator that I got from October. So it was like a mixture of things. But I can throw the question back at you.
You know, for me, it was more so like body dysmorphia. And for a long time, I didn't actually have the terminology, but I realized that I was actually battling depression. And like at the peak of it, I just remember being so tired all the time, getting up later than Brittany, not very available for a lot of stuff. And that's how I saw that this was impacting me. And, you know, for me, it looked like sleeping in the bed, sleeping late. It looked like, you know, any little thing that she would ask me, I'm getting irritated about. And it's not even her. It's more so I'm just feeling this unfulfilledness or like no esteem about anything that I was doing. And so I feel like those were the two things that was like really affecting me the most.
Yeah, I think health-wise, I didn't even know I was like that uncomfortable because it had gotten to the point when we were eating that I felt like it was hurting to eat certain things. Like I could literally feel it in my body. Like I even felt embarrassed that she outed us that we were eating like that because it's not something that you quote-unquote want to take to your grave, but it's just embarrassing to know that we were behaving in that way.
And you know, the funny thing is that, but that's the stuff we grew up on. Like I can speak for me about that. And respectfully about you, like, you know, somebody get you some cookies or some cupcakes, you're like, oh yeah, this is a treat. Or if somebody said, yeah, like you want to have some pizza this day, and you know, the rest of the days, whatever else you want, you know, that's just like, I feel like we grew up on those things and really understanding the difference and really seeing how it make us feel when we took it away. That's the piece that like, I feel like is like, wow. And even how we lit up and glowed, and how, like she said, we got
What
so
was
much
the first fruit meal?
When we started. Oh, I'm gonna cue that in too.
All right,
so
so
y'all
we in
can
the lab.
Right, so we're about to make a bowl to go with our green juices. And I've never eaten dragon fruit. We got the one with the white flesh. So I know there's one with pink flesh or red flesh and one with white. The white doesn't really smell like a delight, but I'm gonna try it. It was actually good.
Okay.
It's like kiwi.
Let me see.
It's good. Don't have a big taste, but it's really good.
It is like kiwi.
Yeah.
Okay. We can work with that.
Yeah. So I'm about to dump some of it, half of it in this acai, bananas, and pineapples. And I'm also cut some kiwi, and we'll put some other little stuff and berries in the bowl.
Is it gonna have ice? Is it gonna be cold?
Yeah, it's gonna be cold.
This is cool.
Just the base first. All right, after a slaving time, she's pausing the stuff, so I'm talking loud, so you know what I'm saying, we don't copyright it. So we ended up with these My. That's hers over there. So we're gonna taste it together so you guys can see our reaction.
Very sweet.
Fire.
Very good.
Fire. Extremely good. It's so tasty. It's like the acai is extremely sweet, which I was going for.
Yeah.
Then you got the fruit to like chew.
You want to vibe? Get around some fruit people tribe.
We are health and wellness coaches, and we do have a company that we're with, that we're independent distributors with, that we use their products, their nutrition supplements. And so we actually had the high raw plant-based detox alongside using the plant-based line of those products. So no dairy, no nothing. Like it was high raw.
Yeah, like we didn't even really drink our tea, and our tea has like a caffeine in it. We didn't even drink that. We had like a green tea at one point, and then we just stopped drinking it. We had a bunch of juices, but that was our first fruit meal, I would say. And
The juicy question of the moment too, which is like, would we recommend doing this?
you want me to go first? You want to go first? Me? You sure? Fuck yes! Like, I would recommend you do this today. Like, go ahead and start, please. Like, just like us, we literally was like teetering with if we're gonna start in February or if we're gonna start in March. I was so like, let's start in March, but it was like she said, it was intuitive for all of my people who tapped in. And if you don't know what that means, it's like a nudge. It doesn't make practical logistical sense. It's just, hey, I need to go ahead and do this. And I'm gonna be honest with you, since doing it, it's been a lot of great benefits.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I was pissed for 75 of the 90 days. For 75 of the 90 days, I was like, people who say they recommend this, why would they recommend this? This is f***ing insane. Like, why would you recommend this? But by 76, it clicked. Like, oh, wow, this is so beautiful. This is so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, the frequency that you move in, the energy that you encompass, like, the power that you feel, the flow that you feel with the universe. Like, it's just, it's unmatched. And even so much to the point where we still want to incorporate some of the things that we took away from the experience because it was so divine, so
it was
amazing.
beneficial.
Yeah.
It was very divine. Like, to add on to you, like, even the piece around people and their energy, seeing the difference in us. Like, we went to a beautiful store. We even exposed ourselves. Like, our Veltung shoe, like, increased. We shopping from different places now. And people telling us, wow, like, we really like your skin. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm going to be honest. I grew up with acne. I didn't have the skin. And I'm going to be honest, once I got on my program with the company we're in, you know, drinking that water is what helped naturally. But I saw a different type of look, and especially with Brittany. Like, her skin was always just glowing. I would just look at her and say, you look so beautiful. Like, you look younger. Like, you look like you just aged backwards. Like, and then again, even the piece around our sleeping. Like, our sleeping changed where we wasn't always so tired, and she naturally doesn't take naps, but she was always energized. Like, she had energy to give. For me, I take naps, I like naps, but I noticed that we could do more. Like, we felt more energized to do it. And then there's other times too when I was like towards the end, like she said, like in the beginning for me, it was the hardest. I'm gonna be honest. The one who was like, oh, let's start March, the one who's whatever. I felt like this is some bullshit. Why did we pick 90 days? We should have just picked 30.
She said a weekend at one point.
Why did we just do 10? But you know, it was a big push for me to grow into, because around 60 to 75, it got wonky. It got a little hard, but I knew that I wanted to finish, like, whatever it took. And there was some things that happened, but whatever it took, I wanted to finish.
That's for you who want some. But you know, that's perspective, because honestly, like, when you think about 60 to 75, that's literally 15 days. But those 15 days were like freaking intense.
Yes.
And what I'll say is, I won't be one of those people to tell you, oh, it's the best thing in the world. No, I'm gonna keep it real with you. If you anything like we was, honey, the first 75 days, you're gonna wonder why you even got into it. But by day 76, you're gonna do it.
We was watching food reels. We was watching food. We was like, oh, we're gonna have this. We're gonna have that. We can't wait to have this. We was like,
we was talking about food. It was just like, you know, taking it one day at a time, taking it one day at a time and really just appeasing that peace though. Cause like, I feel like that's the best thing. Cause what is that saying you always say? Like the people who don't want to do something really actually get it done. And I feel like giving ourselves that grace to talk about it or giving ourselves that grace to watch it helped because we didn't feel like deprived of it. And also we didn't surround ourselves around stuff like that though. Luckily, when we stayed, the people wasn't cooking. We're the most people that cook. So when it stopped, we was good. It wasn't a lot of smells or temptation. We didn't hang out. We didn't go out. We was always around each other and uplifted each other anytime somebody felt like, what the fuck is this?
I agree. Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. How have you felt since, and then how do you feel now? So.
Oh my God.
Wow. Like, no, how
yeah, you gotta go first.
How did you feel before, and how do you feel now that you've done it? So before, I think I was very uncomfortable in my body, but I wasn't aware. So I had already released 80 pounds, like, naturally. And then, when, like she said, when we were in those behaviors, I actually gained weight. So I got up like 15 more pounds. And so I went from 80 pounds released to about 65, right? By the time we started to fast, I was just feeling like insecure, like uncomfortable with my skin. I'm just like kind of like intimidated about calling myself a health coach, etc. But then when we got into it, like that first 30 days, I lost 15, 16 pounds. The next 30 days, I lost 15, 16 pounds. And then that last 30 days, by the end of the whole thing, I had released 43 pounds. So it brought my confidence back because it also pushed me over the 100-pound weight loss natural journey. I felt congruent. Like I'm one of those people, like I'm not no in between. Like I'm either doing something or I'm not. So I felt like I was doing again. I felt confident when I walked amongst my peers in the health industry. I saw the results resulting. Like it just felt so good. And most importantly, I just felt this self-respect, like respect for self. Like, girl, you did this, because like we did something that a lot of people would not do. Would not do. And we can say we actually did it. That's a big deal.
That's a huge deal. That was a beautiful share, because that's a huge deal. I think if anybody's out there, I know I don't want to trigger nobody, but I know I feel the same way, that sometimes the steps that we take towards our dream, we think that we aren't getting anywhere, but you got to remember where you started from, and you got to remember every choice and everything that you've done, hey, it's getting you towards it, and it's a big deal. Whatever monumental reward or whatever monumental like success that you get to, that's a big deal. And for me, before, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I was oblivious. Like, I feel like the awareness came after. The awareness came during. But before, I'm like, I'm working out, I'm good. I can say that, you know, I started to see the differences in my body, especially around my abdomen. And I didn't actually know that I was so congested or so filled up with just gunk, and also so emotionally irregulated until during it, and learning that, oh wow, like I have been feeling better. And even the fact around, you know, I think it was like around day 80, day 85, like around that 85 to 90, I actually could feel joy again. And I remember telling Brittany all the time that I just want to feel happy. Like, she'll ask me, do you feel happy in our relationship? But she'll just ask me, do you feel happy in our relationship? And I'll be like, you know, it's not you that I don't feel happy with. It's not anything that I don't feel happy with. I just don't feel happy. And I remember, like, we was leaving, I think from the store or something, and I was just like, wow, like, I can feel joy, like, I feel good. And so that's what it's brought for me, feeling good, and the awareness of what makes me feel good. Keep doing that.
Yeah, and I will say one discipline has created other disciplines. Like, now by the end, like, we're walking every day. We started getting outside to tell people about our business. We talk to each other better. And here go the spoiler alert, we're not even all the way done with the questions. The 6 days that we spent, those first 4 days, when we like ate, refed, we realized, oh no, like we're not finna get back into these old behaviors. Yeah. Because for me, I learned that food is not a celebration. It's the experiences that come with the food. So like if you go to a birthday party, for example, it's not actually the food, it's the people you're around, the gifts, the community, the conviviality, but not the food itself, because the food, like, it just was not giving.
Right. I love that you brought that in there, and we're going to go to the next one. That's what I was saying. Like, I feel like because of those foods that we had around those type of environments, it's not the food, it's the experience that we relive through the food because that's the only thing that we might have access to, especially if families pass. I reject that for you guys. Or if you live in a different city, or if you just may not be on good terms. So you can only lean on that. But what you really want deeper in the root is to be with that person or to be in that experience again. What was the first change that you saw? The first change that I saw was definitely the weight. Like, I remember telling her, I think, day 60 to 80. I was like, oh my God. She was like, what happened? I said, I ain't got no stomach. I'm talking about the body was bodying, y'all. Like, that was the first change I saw. I saw the body just dropping, getting slim. Like, pants and clothes was tight. I mean, loose. What the fuck was loose? That was the first thing I saw.
I have to say, for me, the first thing I saw was that I wasn't having nightmares as much.
Oh, yeah.
Before we started, I was having, like, the most excruciating nightmares, like, all the time. And I noticed that, like, slowly but surely, I wasn't having them. And I knew I wasn't because when I would have one, I'd be like, oh, this feels so bad. I haven't had one of these. And so that, and then also the way I was respecting myself and, like, honoring my own boundaries started to cultivate as well.
So, what's some other things you want to say about your refeed? Like, what was that process like? How'd you come up with it? Anything you want to talk about with the refeed?
So, one thing I learned about the refeed is that my habits, like my programming and tendency to still want to eat things that I consider fun, were still there. So, when we actually did the refeed itself with the mashed potatoes, the cornbread, the black eyed peas, like with that meal, it felt divine. It felt abundant. Like, even how we did it, like we did it in the middle, like between midnight and 4 a.m. We were cooking. We took our time. We blessed the food. We gave it to our ancestral altar. Like, that felt very lovely, and it actually felt good to eat. It was the next day when my bright idea was, oh, why don't we have some hot dogs and some chili? Now, mind you, we're plant-based, but the thing is like that processed plant-based, it don't give. So when I had the bright idea that we have some plant-based hot dogs with some plant-based chili with some plant-based buns, I think that was too much, and instantly could like feel the consequences, like bloated, feeling depressed, getting an attitude all of a sudden, because I'm starting to really believe like your food creates your program. What about you?
And everything she said, that is to the T. The next thing I noticed was the after that first day of having the chili dogs, we had it again the next day, and I feel like that's for me where it was like, oh, like she said. But I feel like what I realized was that same thing, that those old habits and things that I used to eat all the time that I thought was healthy, right? Because again, y'all, I was oblivious. Like, I did not know what I didn't know was the salt and oils. I realized how much those were impacting me because we had got some cashews, and they were salted cashews, regular salted cashews that we used to eat. I'm talking about, we used to buy a can of those a day. I used to eat that a day. That used to be my snack. Like, that was just it. I didn't chip, I didn't candy, I did cookie towards the end, but I'm talking about when I was healthy, I was eating cashews. I had probably about this much, and I had a fucking migraine. Like, I had a migraine, and I was like, bro, like, what is going on here? So to add on to it, the refeed taught me that you gotta take it slow, and you also gotta make sure that you are putting things in your body that make you feel good, because if you don't feel good, I'm telling you, like, it's not a good sight. So what I realized was, hey, I want to bring back those things that make me feel good. I want to make sure that the things that I am eating, you know, if I want to have a taste of something, like we had the mashed potatoes, the rice, the what else, the black eyed peas, like that made me feel good. And we even had like a amazing breakfast that we made recently.
Yeah, that was so good. It was made from like chickpeas and almond flour, like that was mushrooms, like that was really good.
That was so good.
And I feel like I can speak for both of us when I say this is the first time we're eating plant-based. Like, I'm not gonna say we're totally non-plant processed yet, but I do think we can get there because it just feels better.
Good. And even the people that I be seeing, like, you can have all the portion that you want and still feel good. Like, learning how to eat things that are non-bloating. You're learning how to eat things that aren't so, just stepping into new habits, y'all.
What was the hardest part?
What was the hardest part?
What was the hardest part?
The mental. That's it, y'all. Oh.
That's really it. Because your mind and your body don't always communicate the same way. So your body could be saying, wow, thank you so much. I've needed this for years. Like, thank you for bringing in nutrients. Y'all remember that movie Inside Out? Like, if you can imagine that your body's just like, finally, we have something we can work with. Bring it to the liver, bring it to the intestines, bring it to the heart, bring it to the, bring it, right? But the brain that likes to get high, that loves a dopamine hit. We get so many dopamine hits in a day, like whether it be from our phone, whether it be from food, whether it be from TV. So if you can imagine, because we didn't just do a high raw fast, we did no Instagram stories, we did no TV, we did no stimulant really. So our brains were on fucking fire with what is going on? Why aren't you giving me a hit? And honestly though, for me, and I can only speak for me, that no watching Instagram stories, it did so much for my mental health. Like beyond the food itself, like just being in my own creative story, like, oh my God, I felt so free. Like, to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna just not do that.
Right, we're still continuing that. Like,
Right.
we don't even do that. We're not gonna do it for the whole year. And I love that you brought that up because we even incorporated a no phone day or days.
Yeah, we did a weekend, no phone,
We
no
had like
screens.
3 days.
3 days.
Yeah, we had 3 days. No, 2 days.
Saturday night, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday.
So 3 nights, 2 days.
No, just Sunday, Monday. Because remember we said we was going to give ourselves Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah. So
That's what
Sunday,
happened. Oh yeah,
Monday.
because you worked that day
Right.
too. Yeah. So it was Sunday and Monday. We did 2 days, 2 nights.
No
No
phones.
phones. And that was
Blissful.
beneficial because I started to get like headaches. Even in some of the clips that I show you, like I always had my headphones on. I was always watching something. I was always stimulating myself, like she said. And lately, I barely put my headphones on. If I want to play music, I say, hey, can we play it out loud?
It's true.
Or it's not to bother her if I'm editing. And like, I would get up and fall out.
Literally, she fell out.
What was the easiest part?
I would say doing it with somebody.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. That's the easiest part, y'all.
Like, we got to talk about it with each other. We got to celebrate. We got to complain. We got to try new foods. We got to say no to certain foods. We got to laugh. We got to cry. We got to
That was the easiest part.
travel.
That was the easiest part. Honestly, because it really enhanced the fact around teammanship and partnership. You just,
Teamwork.
it really made the bigger difference because we were both going towards something positive and also in it together at the same time.
And it really harmonized us. Because even when we refed, it was a couple days there where I still wanted to like push the boundary, but she was clear, like, I'm not pushing nothing.
Nah,
And it
I'm not
really
playing
threw
with
off
this.
our harmony for those hours, days, to the point where it was like, okay, I see. Gotta like,
We're cleaning it up,
Right.
figuring it out. Because again,
Clean
it's
it
a
up.
journey. It's a journey, y'all. Like, you don't have to be like us. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like Brittany.
but we like to be in sync. Well,
Yes,
I like
we
for us
love to be in sync. I love to be in sync with her because it's easeful.
And
Peaceful.
it creates a future. Like, we became future focused because we stopped being stuck in a rut with our same TV, our same habits, our same food. And then it's like we just shoot out. And now we're thinking about, okay, when do we want to move in? How do we want to build our businesses? How much money do we want to make? Even just today, we created an Earn Your TV time.
Oh, yeah,
Like, so
yeah,
it just
that's
created
fun.
so much, like, growth.
Growth, maturity,
Even the YouTube. Like, we're starting YouTube as
Yeah.
a result of doing this.
like
Like, that's a big
this
deal.
is what motivated the YouTube.
Right.
We always knew we wanted to do it, but this was the determining factor, and not even determining like we had this pre-planned. It was intuitive.
Right.
Like she said, it was just something that randomly came to her, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Like, that sounds good. Cause last year this time we were actually, I was giving us more fruit in our diet, randomly. Same thing. Like, it's a spiritual thing. It just came out of nowhere. Like, eat more fruit, do this, do that,
Sit in the sun.
sit in the sun,
Yeah.
take the spiritual baths. Like, we got to do all of that
Right.
because of just
What?
making that decision.
What's your biggest takeaway? Woo! That one hit my soul.
There's so many.
First of all, my biggest takeaway is do something in private before you give it to the public.
That's a good one.
I was so adamant that I was not wanting to share this with anybody. Like, this was so sacred for me. But I knew that when we did bring it out, like, it would be so, like, such a celebratory thing. And like I learned how good it feels to do something with yourself before you feel like you need to do it for other people.
I love that. My biggest takeaway is, you know, you can really grow in an area if you just take some time to just cultivate it. You know, I feel like that's a lot, but learning is a journey. Like, it's a journey.
And when you have your own experience, because we've heard people talk about
There you go.
this, right? Like high raw, like we hear teachers, spiritual teachers all the time talk about the importance of eating a certain way, getting outside, going within. But it's something that hits different when you do it yourself, because now you have tangible lived experience. Like we can tell everybody our experience, but yours may be different. You might feel like the whole 90 days is blissful.
Right.
75 days, I said, what the fuck is this?
First 30, first 10, I'm like, why didn't we just do 10?
So it's yours.
Did you guys work out?
Yes.
We did.
Not the
actually
way
did.
we usually do.
Hell no.
She became a soft like princess.
I didn't want to do it.
Refused. First month we were like, I guess we were still getting some old toxins. Cause first month we had a whole thing we did every day. Second month, April, this princess was like, no. I started doing yoga in the second month.
Right, I
Didn't
follow her
really
with
stick
that.
to it, like,
Yeah.
cause I feel like, I don't know, it just didn't feel necessary. Is that honest?
Is it?
I don't know if that's honest, but I feel like I feel more, I guess, excited when I'm doing it with her. So she kind of holds the leadership in that area, and when she said she wasn't doing it, I was like, well, so I did it alone a few times.
You know, my honesty is actually probably an excuse, but I started having those headaches a lot, and just standing back up, it was kind of hard. And again, I reject this for you guys. I also did have some different things, like with my stomach. Like if we ate avocado and fruit at the same time, or if we had a big salad and fruit at the same time, my stomach will feel like it's on fire. I did my research and I realized that some things can be done from our gallbladder, and I think that the reason why those things was happening is because a lot of the food that we were eating didn't have as much fat and didn't have as much fat for my system to create bile. And bile is what removes the fat and brings it to your colon. And so if that isn't helped from previous life, then you can develop stones. And so that is what can cause that burning feeling, because there's not enough bile to push it out. And I'm into this stuff. I'm a nerd into this stuff. So,
And we actually can shout out some of the pages that helped us along our journey and connected us. Help us to like learn.
absolutely, learning is a journey.
Because we had different needs. I had a tank the whole time. Like I could eat
Yeah.
anything because it was raw. It's like, bring it on. I really think that I'm a fruitarian. I really think that my body is made for raw fruits and raw vegetables.
Yeah.
More fruit than anything though, because when I eat fruit, I light up. However, juice vegetables, I think I'm made for that. So me, I just was like loving it, right? But it wasn't until we ate the actual food that I was like, oh shit, this changed. Well, when that happened,
Yeah, like it lit her up literally. Like she would just be like so happy. For me, I realized that I can do these things. Like I said, I just had some times where I felt cold. I felt lightheaded standing up. The thing with my stomach, if certain things didn't mix together rightly. However, I got through it, and I love the results. Like
her
hands
results-
down.
results. We got one more question I would like to ask you. What's next? What's next?
What's next?
What's next, my love?
What's next?
Oh, what's next? Y'all,
Lean in.
have so much that we want to do next. And we're not going to tell y'all none of it. We're going to show y'all, because
Yeah.
we've become show people. We're not tell people anymore.
Yeah.
And it just really, for me, taints my own experience when I'm telling people my plans instead of showing you. For what purpose am I needing to say what's next? If you stay with us, if you like, share, subscribe to the
Do
BNA
that.
crew,
Do that.
then you will definitely be in touch with what's next.
What's going on?
So how can you connect with us,
I was
right?
just about to say, follow our Instagrams, Facebooks.
We'll have our Instagram
TikTok.
handles there, our Patreon. You can definitely become a part of our workout crew. It's so many ways you'll be able to connect with us. If you need health and wellness support, we have a whole coaching program. You can join our coaching program and
Absolutely.
be our client. Like,
Absolutely.
it's so many ways you can stay connected with us to see what's next.
To see what's next.
Did that suffice?
That's sufficed.
That suffice. I really recommend a plant-based diet. I'll say that for me, I was not someone who wanted to be fully plant-based. I identified as somebody who was 97% plant-based and who eats in the winter, eat meat. In this moment, I identify as plant-based for the purpose of, once you get a level of education and a level of understanding about what it does for your body, it's kind of difficult to go back to old habits. I won't say that I'll never eat meat again. What I'll say is, if I do, it'll be my intention to prepare it with my own hands. I know we want to go to Africa. That's a place where, you know, it'll be a whole different experience than eating it, you know, the way I've been used to eating it in America. So that's something that has shifted for me because of this process.
For me, I've always been plant-based. I've always been someone who's a nerd in this area around food and health and wellness. And so, you know, the beauty about it is, in 2018, in my high school senior year, I just saw this documentary called What the Health. And it motivated me to like go through it, because my dad struggled with diabetes. My family had high blood pressure, all these different things going on. And I just knew, like, from watching that you can actually reverse what's going on with yourself by what you eat. So once I got to college and gained over 50 pounds, I was like, yo, I got to stop this. I got to cut it and go right into what I said. So I've been plant-based for a very long time. I feel like my plant-based has increased and evolved. Like she said, like when I started, I was a carboholic, so I had ramen noodles with spinach and mushrooms, or Waffle House hash browns and toast. And now it's like, you know, I'm being mindful of what I'm eating. As you can see, we made a whole plant-based sausage through chickpea, mushroom, almond flour, grits with, you know, plant-based butter and things of that nature.
And it did kind of blow my mind. It really tasted like a sausage.
Like, it was divine. And even the fact around how now I'm juicing, like we have purchased a juicer, so we drink juices. We also make sure that we have, like, I'm going to get us into oils and vitamins and things like that, and teas, herbal teas, and just keep growing and growing, y'all. So
yeah, I think the word and the intention is evolve. You know, like
evolve.
Who you see on this camera before you tonight or today or whenever you see it may not be who we are 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 2 days from now. And I don't think we're supposed to be. And I feel grateful too, because I don't talk about it often, but to come from 433 pounds, someone who used to satiate on certain snacks and chips and cookies and candies, to thinking that was life, you know, checking out on Netflix and really getting, like, you know, indulgent in people's stories. Like, that's how I found joy. Like, nothing wrong with Netflix. It gave me so much. It helped me stay alive, right? But now, like, to be someone who's elevating and evolving my nutrition, my habits, my disciplines, like, I feel so grateful. And, you know, if this video can do anything for anyone, I would just hope that it gives you that nugget that you need to know you can make a change if you so desire to. And you don't have to be tomorrow who you are today, especially if who you are today isn't serving you. So we're really grateful that you all took the time out to tap in with us. Again, like,
comment,
share,
subscribe,
and thank you so much for tapping in with us.
Thank you. Peace to everybody. Blessings.
Blessings.
We love you guys.
Peace. And because I like loopholes, you don't know how good you can feel until you feel good and then go back to feeling bad. Wait, that's too many. You don't know how good it feels to feel good until you feel good and then see the difference. Well, whatever. You don't know how good it feels good to feel good, not feel bad.
Ain't it like you don't know how good you feel until you felt bad?
You don't know how bad
You felt until you felt good. There you go. See,
go.
that even resonates. What was the first hot meal?
First hot meal was
rice, celery, carrot. We ain't had no broccoli.
Soup.
It was
Wait,
rice.
so aggressive with me.
I'm not
Hold
being
on.
aggressive
Let
with
the
you.
YouTube know that we had a rice, celery, carrots.
We made it. How we look? And we said we know what we gonna do. We know what we gonna do. Hey, I ain't trying to get you on your road. If I do, cut it out. So
Not ready yet.
It's not ready, but we got some cornbread. We got some cornbread.
y'all. This stuff looks amazing. Oh my god. Oh my wow. First plate. First plate.
I'm getting like I'm about to tear it up, y'all, but I just need to make sure I'm mindful because it's the first refeed. So let me just.
Like, this is our first hot meal
First hot meal.
in 90 days. First taste of salt, seasonings, potatoes, rice, beans in 90 days.
In 90 days, y'all. 90. And yes, we're using the same spoon, and that's our business. 90 days. I'm being greedy, y'all, because I just ain't ate, but I probably will not eat all of this and go slow. But I'm so grateful. First time.
And that's your business. She gets a still shot, still coming close.
Okay.
So I really want to go for the veggies that's in here because that was my whole purpose.
Ayanda had more like digestive stuff come up than me, so
Yeah.
I'm just like
And then I'm gonna go for a little bit of mash, nothing too crazy. Put the beans on top and on the side, just a little bit of beans.
put it in there.
Yeah, like when we were eating the avocado and stuff, it was like, hold on, I got it.
Okay.
It was like different things coming up.
This is for the ancestors. Will you be with us as we continue our journey? To those that are on our team that are for us, that are supporting us, we offer this in gratitude, and we say I share. Thank you.